Welcome to OCR for those who stay. This podcast is dedicated in loving memory of my daughter, Candace Rose Olson, who lived from 2007 to 2025. For those who stay, we remember. Your life will not be in vain. Everything we do will be in your name. Today feels like a first in many ways. It's our first episode of For Those Who Stay, and it's also the first week of the Kansas City Chiefs season this weekend on Friday. I'll be wearing red, not just for the Chiefs, but also for Candace too. Because Candace's middle name is Rose, and we'll just kind of be keeping that theme with us. Red reminds me of her fierce love, her fire, and her spirit. The same way Chiefs Kingdom comes together in energy and pride. And I won't be telling the story alone. My beautiful, dear friend, Sam, is here with me. And she'll help guide this first conversation so that you, our listeners, can get to know me a little bit better, personally. Not just as a mother who grieves, but as a person, as a nurse, as a veteran, and a mom of 2 daughters. Sam, I'm just so glad that you're here with me today. I can't do this without you.
Dena, before we talk about Candace and the podcast, I just want listeners to get to know you a little bit better. Can you tell us a little bit about where you're from, what shaped you, and what's been important in your life so far?
Okay, a little bit about me. This part of the podcast is easy. I can talk about me all day long. Let's do it. Okay, so I am a military brat. My dad was in the Marines, or once a Marine, always a Marine. Let's keep it real. So he is a Marine. He even had the devil dog, bulldog on his forearm tattoo. You know, there's a lot of history with that as well. But let's kind of keep it a little bit more simple. So again, dad veteran, mom Army veteran, and that's important just because I was born in Alabama and my mom was stationed in Huntsville, so at the Redstone Arsenal Army base there, and so that's why I was born in Alabama, and I still to this day roll Tide. Like, people are like, you're a bandwagon fan. No, I'm not. I was born there. I get to claim it, okay, regardless of where. I actually lived for the rest of my life. So then my dad, born and raised in Iowa, we went back there after my mom got out of the service, after she got out of the Army. She ended up actually going back into the, like, our Air Force Guard or reserves. So, if you see like memorabilia or pictures of my family, you'll see a lot of veterans like we've done on Facebook for all of that.
And you're a veteran yourself.
Yeah, I am. So dad Marine, mom Army. I chose the Air Force because, so my brother, I have 5 brothers and 1 sister. And my brother that's closest in age to me, I'm the baby, so.
Me too.
Yeah. And so he, over dinner one night, I was juggling the idea of going into the military, and my brother goes, you're too girly for the military. And I mean, whatever. Yeah. But I was still a tomboy growing up. Like, I still got in the dirt and, like, you know, wrestled around and, like, you know, beat boys before they hit puberty and arm wrestling and, you know, all this stuff. Like, I'm still tough, right? So I told, in that moment, I said, well, I'll join the Marines like Dad. And my dad changed color. He basically said, if you only listen to one thing I ever tell you in your entire life, if you're going to join the military, you join the Air Force. And that was great advice.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So I was in from 05 to 15 for 10 years, active duty. And during that time, I mean, everything is a chapter. Everything, you know, has built my book, you know, basically. So again, just to kind of like surface level, tip of the iceberg, talk about me. I have been married, have been divorced, and have my 2 children. My daughter, Candace, that was born in 2007, she's very special, right? Like she was born out of wedlock, but born with love, you know?
Love, yes.
So, when I found out I was pregnant with her, it was just a shock. I was actually stationed in Turkey at that time. And that's kind of a funny story because whenever she was old enough to know, she was like, "Oh, you were pregnant in Turkey, so I'm Turkish." You know, she was always trying to find that like identity in herself, you know, like where she's from and like how she's cultivated in society. And so every part of her was always really special. She always like, even in our past like posts and my brother's speech for her at her funeral, we joke that Kansas City is really, she called it Candace City. So she claimed everything as her own with so much passion. And so in 2015, or then I had Bella in 2010, my beautiful Bella Boo.
Yes.
Love her. She is just a genuine spirit, just very kind, and just really makes anybody feel like they're at home. Like you could just be around her and she can like just make you feel calm. Like everything's just not a big deal. Like
it's
just
okay.
relax. Like
it's fun.
like and just go with the flow, and it just makes life so peaceful. And she is so creative. She is able to just get things done. Like you don't have to like tell her more than once to do something. And like again, just this little angel baby. So got out in 2015, went to nursing school.
Yes.
That's where I met you.
Yes. So what drew you after nursing school? What drew you into caring for veterans?
So as a veteran myself,
So you work at the VA.
I do.
Yes.
So originally I didn't think I was going to ever work at the VA. There's a stigma of being at the VA and the VA, this and the VA that. And, sometimes like when you walk into certain areas, especially the VA, there has that stigma of not getting the care that anybody, like any human deserves,
Yes.
So unfortunately, to be honest, like there was a time where I dreaded going into the main VA hospital just because like
As a patient,
especially as a young female veteran, they're like, it's almost like, what are you doing here? Like you're
not taken as seriously.
Yeah,
Because,
like what do you like?
What health problems?
I was not in Vietnam, so
Yeah.
like it's hard for people to wrap their head around that there's still like
Other veterans.
there's still chronic illnesses that happen like mentally and physically to any veteran. At any time.
Yeah.
Peacetime or wartime. So I had to get over that. And then another one of our nursing friends that we went to school with, one of our colleagues, she was an ER LPN, and during the nursing program she was still working there, and then she told me, she was like, actually the VA is like a great gig, you should just go through the what was it called,
Like your capstone?
Yeah, well, it wasn't capstone. It was literally like a bird's eye view of the hospital. So you go in.
Oh, like your
and
residency?
My residency. So yeah, there's a nursing residency,
Which is
at the
different
VA.
than any hospital.
It
the
is.
way that the VA does it. It's really unique.
Exactly. So what they do is for like 9 months to a year, they'll send you around to different areas in the hospital, inpatient, outpatient, even like out in the community. And I got to see the VA in a whole different light, and I got to feel part of my community again, you know? And I say mine, I mean, our community, like, veterans still go to every hospital, and you're a nurse too. So, just providing the best care regardless of situation and background, and just knowing that population so well and being able to care for them, and not just saying, oh, they all have PTSD, or they all have this, or they all have that, or, you know, why don't they act better? They knew, you know, like there's all, again, things that I have to take a step back and educate people that aren't from a military background but still work at the VA. So that's one of the reasons that I chose to stay after residency, was like, no, I have to be a voice for them.
I agree. Yes.
And like a true advocate. Like, no, these are my people.
Like, I'm gonna make sure that they're taken care of the way that they deserve to be.
Amen.
Yeah. So what do you do outside of work? What are your interests? What do you enjoy?
Traveling.
Yes, love to travel.
We'll just focus on traveling and shopping, and you know,
love to shop.
Yes. So you and I, particularly, like, we love being in the water. Even during COVID, we're like, I mean, this is a little controversial, but who cares, right?
Trip to the Lake Ozarks.
Yeah, we went to the lake because, I mean, during COVID, we were so isolated, especially like you, but especially like I felt personally, because I worked in the ICU, and the majority of our patients were COVID, and so I felt ostracized.
Yeah.
Like,
your family, like, maybe not you, but a lot of nurses felt like their families didn't want to be around them during that time period.
Family, friends, and it was literally like you and Josh that were, I'm not afraid to be around you. Like, if you go down, we all go down, kind of thing. And that's what, you know, our friendship really is built on, and I just really appreciate you and every aspect of our friendship, and every like moment of, and that's just really where it really builds. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
And so continuing healthcare and not feeling the burnout, I mean, you never really feel it at the time.
No, you notice it afterwards.
Until you're in recovery of the burnout, and you're like, oh my gosh, how did we do that?
Yeah, how did we it's just crazy.
And then so I continued to stay in the ICU until, and do you have any other questions for the nursing side of things before I kind of dive into the Candace stuff? Or?
Yeah. We have a next prompt. So it's you've always been such a caregiver. So what has motherhood meant to you, and how would you describe yourself as a mom?
Oh, that's really hard to talk
I know,
about.
that's hard. So you kind of talked about becoming a mom.
Yes. So I always knew that I wanted to be a mom. I always thought I was going to like have 5.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm 39 now, and I still, like, for some reason think there's three more in my future. And it really makes me sad to say it out loud, but again, as a grieving mother, now that Candace is gone, it's almost like, okay, 4 more. I want, you know, like,
4 more to make up.
Yeah, because remember in the hospital, again, this podcast is for me to be completely vulnerable and honest, you know, for mothers out there, for family members who are losing somebody very close to you.
Yeah.
I even asked, you know, when they were talking about organ donation, I asked for her ovaries. I know, again, very controversial, very shocking, but in the moment I was like, I can't just let her die. Like, there has to be more, you know.
Yes. And what do you do in that moment? No one knows until it happens to them specifically, you know?
No, not at all. So, so motherhood is not just mothering them. It was looking forward to being a grandmother.
Yeah.
You know? And we'll dive deeper into that probably in a later podcast. But,
who was Candace? We'll start there.
See. Okay, so Candace is my first. I had her when I was a week shy of 21, and she came into this world as she continued to live in this world. So she is a firecracker. And I ended up having an emergency C-section with her because I had a placental abruption where the placenta prematurely tears away from the uterus. And so we had an emergency C-section. Everything ended up going as well as possible considering the circumstances. So then it was just life as we knew it, just the two of us. And my dad would come down and help as much as possible. My mom, my aunt in Lubbock would come. Like, I had a grandmother on my mom's side that didn't live too far away because we lived in Clovis, New Mexico on Cannon Air Force Base. And so my mom actually was born and raised in that area. And so I had family down in Portales, New Mexico, that were very helpful with Candace. And I just continuing to feel like we did have support and family around us, even though we were in the middle of nowhere, as Candace would say. So when she was little, we would be driving down one of the New Mexico roads, and she would look out the window and she'd go, Mom, is that the middle of nowhere?
Yes, it is.
Yes, actually, Candace, it is. We are in the middle of nowhere.
Tell us about her personality.
So
her spirit, her.
Yeah. So again, even at a young age, she's sneaky. She is just the one that if you tell them no, they're gonna figure out a way to do it anyways.
Yeah, very much so.
So very challenging for me as a young adult to not just again, me as a caretaker, I just want to smother with love. I'm just gonna love you so much. You're so fluffy. What's that?
Yeah.
What's that movie? You're just. But it's just one of those things where you could love her hard, but she still didn't feel like she could receive it. And I'm saying that, hoping that that's respecting how she really felt. That's just my perspective, right? I don't want to put words in her mouth because she can't be here to correct me.
Yeah.
Because I know she would.
She definitely would.
Yeah. So let's focus again. I got distracted.
Yeah, that's okay. When you think about May 1st, when Candace passed, how did life shift for you?
Do we want to go into the whole story of...
Maybe just the moment everything changed. When did it feel maybe real?
The real feeling still isn't set in.
Yeah.
I think life changed when I knew that I had to change.
Yeah.
That just living life and being okay with kind of stagnant, because we were always struggling to figure things out.
Yeah.
Mentally and physically and emotionally and everything. So we were just kind of, the duck on the water, and you're just kind of seeing but then when you look underneath the water level, we're just kind of paddling, just to stay afloat. And so when she passed, I lost all sense of purpose and self, because she was all I knew.
Was both of them were your purpose, are your purpose still.
Oh, thank you for clarifying that. Yes. Bella, of course, she's one of the reasons that I continue to try, you know? I know that's really sad to say, but I mean, as a mother, when you lose a child, what do you do? Especially she's 17 years old.
She's about to graduate high school in 2 weeks.
Yeah, she had her first real job. There was all these things going for her. She had a letter that she actually saved after she took her ASFABs, and it was basically from the Coast Guard saying, based on your recent ASFAB scores, we'd love to have you, basically.
Yeah.
And it wasn't she rolled her eyes at it. My sister found that letter in her journal, saved. And she's not a sentimental saver keeper of things like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she was very proud, and I wanted her to be proud of herself because I was proud of her. Every step of the way, I was proud of her. But but the mental demons inside of her and her impulsivity,
Yeah.
that was
something that you couldn't control.
no, nobody could control that.
Yeah.
But we tried. And so that gave me this drive really after she passed to be like, okay, well, what's going to be my purpose? What am I going to do now? Like,
Exactly.
How are we going to like keep her memory alive? Because she was a force to be reckoned with, you know? So now like I feel like I had to absorb her energy
Yeah.
to still give to the world.
Yes.
Because it was unfair that the world didn't get to see the rest of her life.
Yeah, it is not your story only. You're telling your story together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed. And we're going to continue to tell her story, not just from my perspective, but Sam, when you're ready, like to tell how you and her had a connection, and she would tell you things before she would tell me.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah.
So we'll again go over that later.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
stay
one day.
tuned and come back for more, please. Like we're gonna leave those cliffhangers
Yeah.
for you every episode.
And now you've formed, this podcast from love and that loss. So why did you create For Those Who Stay?
So we started with what are we gonna do? Because we had the funeral so quickly after she passed that still we had an incredible 80 plus people turn
Yeah.
out to her funeral
For 2
within
days.
within a 48-hour
Yeah.
notice. That just is a direct reflection of her.
Yeah.
And so then I'm like, well, for the people who couldn't be there but wanted to, that didn't have the opportunity, like I didn't give that opportunity to people because we just wanted it intimate and family. So
Yes.
then I'm like, well, how do I still give that kind of closure to other people that couldn't make it? So you and I brainstormed quite a bit, and we decided that we were going to have a remembrance ceremony or a celebration of life for
Yeah.
her. And that's when we started a journey of what is her legacy going to look like.
Yeah.
And so there was this, do we just have one charity? Because it was going to be a charitable donation to something. And luckily out in New Jersey, where she went to private school, Egerton, they created an athletic scholarship in her name for future children. And they've already given one out.
Yes, that was so exciting to see the pictures on.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have that posted on our Facebook if you guys are curious about her first legacy.
Yes.
Creation. And then, so I just wanted to snowball that basically, right? So, okay, what can we do next? Well, maybe a Kansas City-based charity like the Pet Project. Candace loved bringing
Loved
home
pets.
yeah,
Yes.
and bringing home stray pets or pets that needed a home, and we were just going to care for them for a little bit, but then they stayed for a long bit.
Yes.
And which was just her heart.
Yes. Very
Like,
much so.
yes. So I was like, well, I can't just let one charity define her. So I was like, let me just reach out to every charity that would be willing to.
Yeah. Anything that
Participate.
like dealt with mental health,
health.
yeah, like domestic
Substance
violence,
abuse.
substance abuse, things local to Kansas City that like actually make a difference, right? I think that was your goal.
Yeah. And even our local church that she was a part of.
Yes.
Her youth group pastor came to the celebration of life and gave a wonderful prayer over our event
Yes.
at Hodge Park on what would have been her 18th birthday, August 15th. And I think for our first one, that was a great turnout.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you did an incredible job helping me with all of that. Like, just having the tents and having the fire department came out, the police department came out for support, like just local community involvement was just incredible.
Yeah, just wanted to create a space for grief, healing, and remembrance.
Yeah.
So especially for like her friends that couldn't come, or
Yes.
we just didn't feel it was right at that time.
No.
So I feel like that was really helpful for them.
Yeah, 100%. Her friends came, and you designed that beautiful t-shirt
Yes,
for
my
us.
fun.
And it was limited edition, no longer available. Sorry, y'all. You'll have to come back next year for round 2. But that'll be probably, we'll try to find another.
Yeah, something fun.
new.
Something fun like that.
And let's see. So that was legacy for her for like that short time, like after, just to kind of distract myself from grieving. And I'm not saying that that's healthy for anybody, but that was just what I chose to do. I even prior to her passing, I was in therapy and I got put on an SSNRI, you know, just to help cope with life. My personal mental health history, as well as the struggle of having a daughter who struggled, you know. So with all of that compounded, it really took a toll on us. And she was doing so well, then I was like, well, let me focus on myself. And that's, again, why I started that prior to her passing, not knowing. And that was like a God thing.
Yeah.
To already have kind of this stable foundation.
Mentally, yeah.
Mentally to like help to even get through that first day.
I don't know how you did that. Yeah.
So this podcast is basically a continuation of her legacy and our family. So
And your goal is to help other people.
Yeah, and our goal is to be the voice
with grief. Yeah.
And to show that it's okay to talk about. You know, I talked about the stigma of the VA. And it's not just stigma about the VA, you know, that was just talking about my personal experience and just a snapshot. There are so many other stigmas that we need to talk about. And the stigma of Candace was substance abuse and mental health.
Yeah.
And some people like sweep it under the rug, don't talk about that, don't, you know, there was certain things that it felt like she was being enabled or, you know, not cared for, or, you know, like we weren't doing enough. But again, that's going to be another conversation of like, what else can you do? Like,
everything is hindsight, you know, like you're always going to think about, what if I did something different? What if I did more? But that wasn't true to what the situation was at that time. You know, you just have to tell yourself.
Until you're living in it.
With what you had, yeah. Until you live it yourself, I don't think anyone could criticize that.
No, and I mean, even at an early age, there was times where I judged people, but I had young children. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, how could you, or why wouldn't you, or couldn't, like, and then when you're going through it, you're like, oh my gosh, like, I need to find a community that understands. And we networked and we reached out and I begged and I pleaded, you know, and it's just so hard for insurance and facilities and, you know, everything to align perfectly, and her willingness to be well and to continue to comply with plans like open. Medication management and everything like that.
And be open to getting help. I think that's a big part of it too. So thank you for opening your heart and letting us get to know you a little bit. I mean, I know you, but I think that's why. I think it'll help with the connection in the future.
Yes. All right. So, thank you, Sam, and thank you everyone who joined us today. My heart truly goes out. I, again, just want this to help one mother or one friend, or, I mean, moms, dads, siblings, aunts, uncles, everyone that can be affected by a loss of anybody. Please, thank you for joining today and listening to the beginning of our story. There's so much more. And if you're listening and carrying your own grief, I want you to know that this space is for you. This space is for all of us. So eventually, again, we're going to expand. We're going to bring people in to tell their side of their grief, their loss, their story. We're gonna just try to build an incredible community of like compassion, like no judgment, honestly. Like in nursing school, there was this professor that would be like,
and I loved
no
it.
judgment, but like it was a
and
joke.
She meant it too, but it was a joke.
Yeah, but we heard it so much that like, it was this running joke of like no judgment after everything we would say. But again, like just trying to bring humanity back to humanity and just compassion and reminding people that you're not alone. Like, and I hear that all the time and it sounds so cliche, but like honestly, like reach out. Like
Yes.
I have always been so like, no, I'm only going to show this side of my life.
Yes.
And Candace would say that. She'd be shocked right now. She was like, you said that?
She would. Yes,
Like,
I agree.
I've created a monster in myself. Like, word vomit. I'm just going to tell you everything. Okay? So for those who stay, we remember. Your life will not be in vain. Everything we do will be in your name. And since this week is all about firsts, our first episode, and on Friday the Chiefs' first game, I'll close with this. Whether you're grieving, cheering, or showing up in your own way, wear your red with pride. For me, it's for Candace, for Kansas City, and for all of us who stay. Thank you. I love you.